Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to create a card with the Spellbinders Small Die of the Month Club Kit. This month's club kit is called Colorblock Landscape. I wanted to share with you how this is usually intended, at least I think it is, the dies in this set, because we're going to not use them as the intended way, but just do something a little different with this month's die set. This piece here is a triangle piece. I created a card with it with the clear stamp of the month, and I'll link that video at the end. But if you put them together, it creates a beautiful like sun ray or a sun scene background. You do have the circle that will cut out the middle of the sun, and then this goes perfectly behind your little landscape piece, which is this piece. Now this is one piece that will cut out 5 different layers, I believe. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5 layers. So you could mix and match colored cardstock to create a beautiful scene. And this is great for multiples because you can mix up the colored cardstock and create different colors with each set. But you just layer them together to create a beautiful background. For some reason, when I seen this Colorblock Landscape, I kept thinking of a Sedona sunset, because there is a little cactus in there too. And that's just what I kept thinking of. We had used to live in Arizona, and they had some crazy beautiful sunsets. So that's what this reminded me of. Well, this is what your sunset or your landscape will look like if you wanted to use it as a landscape. So pretty neat stuff, really. Now, this is your little cactus, and it's perfectly scaled for your little landscape piece. And the sun rays in back, I spaced them apart, but you don't have to do that. You can put them all together to create a real fun sun. You just have to cut multiples. Okay, you also get, which I found so pretty, are 2 leaf flourishes in the die set. Now I'm partial to leaf flourishes because I think you can do so much with them. So for today's card, I really like the one with the long stem. Usually when I create with my club kits, I create the first thing that comes to my mind. And so the first thing when I saw this one was that long leaf with the long stem, and I thought it'd make a really pretty wreath. So that's what we're going to do with it. If you connect these together, it makes a perfect circle. My wreath today, we're going to use some very neutral colored cardstocks. The craft color is Portobello. The brown is Timber, and then I'm using my white cardstock. Now as I die cut out my white, I did die cut out a few more on another piece of cardstock, and I love the way this turned out. So we're going to turn that piece into a card too, the negative piece. So we'll make 2 cards today, 2 for 1. And the second one's actually very, very easy. Now to create my wreath, I did die cut out a very thin circle using some circle dies. I'm just going to add a thin bead of glue around the edge of it. And then all we have to do is, to create the wreath, is alternate all 3 colors. So we're starting off with the Portobello, adding a little more glue over the stem. We're going to add our Timber, and we're lowering it just about maybe 1/2 inch, and then add a little more glue, and then we'll add our white. So very neutral color. So this you could use as a masculine type style card if you wanted to. I'm just going to repeat the process until I'm all the way towards the end. Now when you get towards the end, you want to trim down your stem. Just trim it down so you can tuck it underneath the last piece here. That way it kind of hides it. But doesn't it make a really pretty wreath? I think if you were to use any colors, it would be gorgeous. Greens, pinks, reds, blues, I think it'd be just so pretty, just different shades. But there's the wreath, and we're going to go ahead and work on our background. I do want a little detail in my background, so I'm bringing in a die set that I love. This is called the Elegant Twist Rectangles. We're going to take the second from largest twist. Now this set has second pieces that you can create frames with, and if you don't want to use those pieces, you would just create twist in your panel. So that's what I did. Just created a little twist accent. Now I do want some of that timber colored cardstock to show behind that twist. So I trimmed down a piece of cardstock. It actually measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. My panel, my white panel, and my timber cardstock. We're just going to layer them together. Next, I'll pop up this panel with my fun foam. Lots of fun foam. I'm going to use it up. And once I have my fun foam added, we're going to adhere this to our card base, centering it. So we do have a little bit of a border around our card base. Now I do want to add a little even more dimension to my wreath by popping it up with some small foam squares. And they're white, and I'm not worried about them showing through the background. I don't think it's too noticeable, even though it's a very thin end to those leaves. You can't tell whatsoever. For my sentiments, I just wanted a small sentiment that I can create a tag with. So I have this stamp set from Fun Stamper's Journey, and it is the mini greetings. I'm not sure if they still have it or not, but if they do, I'll list it below. This is I just stamped the word enjoy, and then I'll use my paper trimmer and trim it down. Now I did leave a little bit extra room on the left side because we're going to turn this into a mini tag, which is very easy to do. Since most of my card base is predominantly white, I do want to add a little bit of brown behind my tag. So we're going to create a kind of a double tag. So I trimmed down another piece of that timber cardstock. We're going to chop off the corners of our sentiment there on the left side. And then I'll take my Crop-A-Dile and we're going to punch a hole in it. And then I'll add a white eyelet, and then we'll secure it. We'll secure it with the timber cardstock at an angle, so that way it doesn't move. I'm also going to add a couple pieces of foam adhesive behind my sentiment to pop it up. I'm going to add 2, so it's 1 level higher than my wreath there. And then I did add some natural twine. Spellbinders has some amazing natural twine, and I'll list it below. It's like the perfect thinness, if that's a word. But it works really good with the Portobello. I call it Portobello cardstock, which is the craft one. So basically that's my card. I tied a bow with it. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to work on our next card, which is very easy, and it takes no time at all. If you wanted to make a note card set with this die, I think it'd be beautiful. But I have a piece of cardstock. It's the timber. It's the dark brown, and that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then my die cut piece, the negative piece that we're using with white cardstock, that actually measures 3 1/4 inches by 4 1/2. I'm going to use that same stamp set, but this time we're going to stamp just for you on the bottom right corner here. And then I'm going to flip over my white panel, and then we're going to add some foam squares behind it. The more foam squares, the less the middle will sink in, so maybe go a little heavy towards the middle. But I'll place this in the center of my colored cardstock, and then we'll flip this over and add some tape behind it, and then this is going to go in the center of an A2 size card also. We'll just place this in the middle so you can have you can see we'll have a little bit of a white border around it. But isn't that just so clean and classic? I think it's make a nice note card set. Last but not least, I'm going to go around my wreath, and then also my negative card there with some Color Essential gems. I'm using the gold mix. Love these, and I love the size of them. I just added a few for a little bit of sparkle. Something different. Using the Small Die of the Month Club kit this month. I know you're going to see a lot of landscapes as far as inspiration goes, and so I always like to think outside the box with my kits and give you guys some different ideas. So I hope you enjoyed my projects. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you again real soon, guys. Bye bye.